I attempted a friendly smile. "Tell me honestly what you thought," I said. "Don't try to be kind or spare my feelings." So he didn't. "You'll never be a DJ as long as you live. You just haven't got the personality for it. I'll show you out." It was devastating. My dreams instantly collapsed, and I followed him down a corridor in a daze of disappointment and rejection. Instead of the smart front door I'd come in by, I was shown out of a fire escape door and into a mews behind the main building. With a curt goodbye, Eggy Lay slammed the door shut after me. I stood there, forlorn and lost, my hopes destroyed. It was back to my quiet, respectable life as a car salesman in Solihull. A career in radio had been a stupid pipe dream, and I resolved to forget it for good. There were 7 of us in the Dingley family, Trevor and Mary and 5 kids, all crammed into a semi-detached in Heaton Road, Solihull, a leafy, somewhat posh and pretentious suburb of Birmingham, though we didn't ever mention that city when saying where we were from. Oh no, we lived in Warwickshire. My mother's maiden name was Waters, and hers broke on Good Friday, the 30th of March, 1945, and my first cries were heard at about tea time, my mum said vaguely. I was her 4th child. The eldest was my sister Maureen, then John and Michael, and then me, Peter Waters Dingley. I was followed by Christine, the 5th and last of the Dingley children. My father was a salesman for a company that made electroplating equipment for chromium plating car parts. He was very good at it, earning enough to provide a living for his large family, and later, with the help of some family money from my mother's side, we were able to move to a grander detached house in Broadoaks Road. My mother devoted herself to bringing up her family. Although our home was always noisy and full of activity, it was not a place where we talked much about our feelings. Both my parents had the kind of upbringing where adults didn't show all that much affection to their children. Mum, in particular, was raised in a strict Victorian household, dominated by a fearsome father who she only saw at the evening meal when talking was not allowed. There was no touching or any expression of love in that home, so it's no wonder that as a parent herself, she found it so difficult to express the love she felt for her children. There's no doubt that my parents cared about us a great deal, but because they found it difficult to tell us or show their affection, all 5 of us were desperately clamoring for attention and praise that never seemed to be forthcoming. This led to tensions, strains, and arguments, and an atmosphere where any sign of weakness was mocked and derided. Pretty soon I realized that survival meant all feelings must be buried deep down. There's a certain kind of loneliness I guess you can only feel in a big family where love isn't something that is expressed. Like most older sisters, Maureen could be a bit bossy. Michael was the goody-goody, and we all considered Christine a bit spoilt. But John and I were kindred spirits, and we stuck together despite the 4 years in age between us. It was John who got me into rock and roll and pop. But before that, my first introduction to music was in 1955, when I was 10. Dad came striding into the front room with a big box and an excited grin on his face. "Have I got a surprise for you?" he declared. The 5 of us gathered round. Inside was another box, cream-coloured with daisies all over, and 2 clasps on one side. Dad opened the lid, proclaiming, "It's a gramophone. Watch this." He took out a bent handle, put it in a hole in the side, and started winding the thing up. From a smaller case, he removed a large flat disc in a brown cover and placed it on the circular pad. He slid open the cover of a small compartment in the corner and removed a needle, which he put carefully in the arm at the side. None of us kids really had any idea what on earth this contraption was. "What's it do, Dad?" Wait, just wait." He moved a lever, the disc revolved, and he placed the pickup arm onto the black disc. There were crackles and pops and scratching noises, and then, "If you go down to the woods today, you're sure of a big surprise." A voice began singing Teddy Bear's Picnic. It sounded terribly tinny, and the music choice itself was not great, but I was completely hooked by the way this funny box could conjure noise out of thin air. Then, when I was about 12, John introduced me to the magical